Oh God, being sick sucks. But you know what? At least we're back now, right? Let's see. Let's go check the analytics while I've been gone. Oh, hey, look at that. This ranking Scooby-Doo monsters video did really good. Oh my God, hey, these zombies videos that I had queued up from a little while ago, they're popping off. Wait a minute. Okay, what if I just stick this in here, insert tab A into slot B, and oh no. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the definitive Call of Duty Zombies tier list. My brain had this great idea. It's time to get roasted in the comments. So, Nacht der Untoten's first up. And Nacht is going into good. Nacht is a good map. It is carried immensely by nostalgia and atmosphere. And that's about it. It is difficult. It is bare bones. It is grit. It is the first step. And that's about all it's got going for it. We go to Verrückt. And I'm going to get grilled on this one. But I'm putting Verrückt like all the way up here into great. It's one of the maps that I clump together with some other ones that I consider to be incredibly fun because they're incredibly challenging. And everyone seems to have a vendetta boner against them that I've never understood. We'll get there as we go on. Next, we got Shi No Numa, everyone's baby's first high rounding map, and I'm putting it incredible. The introduction of Ultimus, the introduction of everything that is the blood of zombies today. And you cannot understate the amazing qualities of Shi No Numa. As a matter of fact, we're gonna bump down each a tier. And we'll get there in a minute. Der Riese, incredible masterclass of the original recipe. Everything climaxed here. It would have climaxed here in Kino, and I'm going to put it in incredible with Der Riese. People are going to grill me for these two because everyone thinks that Kino is the best map of all time. And even though I spent a lot of my childhood on that stage trying for high rounds, I am man enough to admit that it is not a perfect map. There's a lot of flaws with Kino, there's a lot of things wrong with Kino. But it still holds my heart with a Gorilla Glue grip with a gun to my head. That being said, we're going to pull Verrückt up here. And we got 5. 5 is going up with Verrückt. They are of the same blood lineage. Hard map, hated by the masses that I find addicting as hell. There's just something so good about how difficult 5 is. If it had a better wonder weapon, I think it would probably get more love than it gets. Ascension. Incredible. Not best. I love Ascension to death. It is piss awful easy though. And the Black Ops 1 version. We'll get to Chronicles later. I've got some very strong opinions about the Chronicles versions of these maps. But Ascension from BO1, it did leaps and bounds for the franchise. Easter eggs. It did new perks. It's where the Thunder Gun was supposed to debut, but Kino happened. All around, great map. Call of the Dead. I'm sticking it right into best tier. Call of the Dead is to this day still captivating high rounders. I don't believe we've reached around 100 yet because it's nigh impossible. However, that's kind of what I love about this map is everyone's always chasing the bag. There's never a moment where you feel like you can't do something on Call of the Dead. You want more than 4 perks? Go kill George. Easter egg? First time we got a soloable Easter egg. Which, as a guy who did not have friends that wanted to play zombies, that was huge. The Scavenger was such a cool wonder weapon. It just suffered from not infinite damage. The VR-11 was a weird bastard child, but in multiplayer it was cool. Hot take, Shangri-La goes into great. I know a lot of people hate Shangri-La. Again, it's in this group of Verrückt, 5, and Chang, where difficulty translated into people being angry with it. And we'll get into some maps later that are just difficult for the sake of being difficult, that are gonna drag them through the dirt. But these maps were difficult for the sake of challenge. You never felt like you were wasting your time trying to survive on these maps. There are maps later where it feels like if you go down, you've just wasted a half hour of your time. And if you've watched my LMG Versus series, you know what maps I'm talking about. But we'll get there. Moon was fucking revolutionary. And I swear this map would be beloved by millions if you could simply carry the hacker and the PES. Or if just the excavators weren't a fucking thing. There's something, and again, talking Black Ops 1, there's so many intricate details to this map. The Moon? I'm putting Moon in best. There are so many things you can uncover and do on Moon. Just alone in the QEDs and the hacking device. Again, as long as you re-rolled and were Richthofen, and you had somebody to do Shangri-La's Easter egg with you, you could do Moon solo. Granted, you have to roll the box to get QEDs, then Gersh, then QEDs again, but that's neither here nor there. Possible was a thing. This was the last time for a long time that we got to see Ultimus as well. And I know there are very racially insensitive stereotypes, but God, Ultimus cradles my heart. We'll get to my feelings on Moon a bit more later with Chronicles, but this map offered so much, and I really do feel like it's gone completely underappreciated. Now we got to Transit. Hot take. Transit good. Riddle me this, Batman. In a world where Transit was made on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, where we had no fog, no denizens, and a pack-a-punch machine that didn't make you want to tear your hair out, tell me Transit wouldn't be the dopest fucking shit. Like, this giant map, you could have so many features. They were truly ahead of their time with this, because we'd end up getting bigger maps than Transit later down the road. Like, what is it, Outbreak, or whatever the hell, from Cold War, that garbage shit. Not the point. Transit suffered from being too ambitious. They tried too many things all at once on a launch map. You'll notice with every other installment of this series, the base maps are some of the most beloved. Is it because people are poor? Maybe. But it's also because it's what you were introduced with. Kino is heralded as the best of all time. There's diehard Noct fans. Shadows of Evil, we'll get there when I talk about it. And then the slew of shit that came out of Black Ops 4. I think a Cold War, and I think a Die Machine. Transit, if it was... Transit was so close to being it. And it just tanked. Bus Depot is just Nocturne and Toten without the atmosphere. Changed my mind. Farm is also just Verrückt without the atmosphere and challenge. Town, I would put up here next to Shino in great. It was... Town was everyone's Kino in Black Ops 2. I'm also going to throw Nuketown right here into Great. These 4 maps right here, I'm a sucker for these maps because they are hard and they are fun to grind your head against to try to get further. And most people don't like these maps because they're difficult, but God, I find them just so... I just think they're neat. Die Rise. We're gonna put you in average. God, again, Transit Syndrome. You had such a great opportunity to be good. The Sliquifier, one of the best wonder weapons of all time. You got the ability to get all the perks in the map by being accurate or by meleeing the jumping jacks, which are repurposed Nova Crawlers, and that's a cool callback. But oh, so many problems with this map. The perk selection, I feel, number 1, hurts the map. You're gonna hide Flopper from me. Finally give us Mule Kick. But then nothing else. Like, give me Stamina, give me Dead Shot, give me... It's a map early, but give me Electric Cherry, even. And I'm not a fan of Electric Cherry, but it would have helped on this map. Flopper is the obvious one in this map. But if there was teleporters, maybe even some sort of better consistency for transportation than the stupid-ass elevators. Better perks, better transportation. I feel like Die Rise had the potential to be really nice. Mob. Hot take. Mob's in Great. Before you crucify me, hear me out. Mob has the single best story as a story. Not as zombies, as a story. The problem is this was Jason Blundell's first trip into zombies from campaign, and Mob of the Dead plays very much like a campaign level, and I love that about it. But riddle me this. You finish the main objectives, you get the power, you get the perks, you fly to the Golden Gate Bridge, and you pack a punch. You hit the electric chairs and you go back to the map. Tell me that sinking feeling of what the fuck do we do now doesn't hit you every time you pick yourself back up. And yeah, you can go back to the bridge again and again and upgrade the Tomahawk, get the Spork. There were so many cool Easter eggs and such a really cool story to this map. But replayability sinks this shit like the Titanic. Like, I can only play Mob once in a blue moon. Not because I hate the map, but because it is not replayable. Also some more sacrilege. Buried. Good tier. I am so tired of people saying that Buried is easy. Yeah, congrats, little Jimmy. You can, flood the bank and get all of your setup, and the game feels really easy on round 4 with every perk in a packed AN94. My beef with Buried is actually that it's way too fucking tedious and hard. If you've ever tried to high round Buried before, or if you've watched anyone try to do it themselves, you'll learn that it's a slog. It's nothing but hiding behind buildables in the Juggernog hallway and flying away from the zombies with the Paralyzer, because nothing on the map does any piss amount of damage. At least when you try to high round on Nuketown, you know you're fucked because your best weapon's the Mark II. But on Buried, you have all these things at your disposal, and you still feel like you can't do shit. On a positive note, though, Black Ops 2 Origins, right up into best. This seems like a very normie take, but when I start comparing it to other maps that seem like they would be normie takes, you'll start to realize what I'm getting at. We'll talk more about Origins in a minute. we gotta go down here real quick to Exo Zombies, and this group of 3 maps right here aren't as bad as as everyone says. You know, the 3 Exo Zombies maps that we got were honestly pretty good. I would put, like, Outbreak was in average, Carrier was good, Descent was good. You know, the 3 map. No, I'm not talking about Burger Town. No, I don't care how much you pay me. Burger Town is not making it on the list. Get it out of my sight before I fucking obliterate you. Anyways, so yeah. You know, I really think that Outbreak, Carrier, and Descent suffer from what I affectionately call Extinction Syndrome. We ended Black Ops 2 on Origins, right? And then we got Ghosts. Ghosts was mixed received for its multiplayer, and everyone and their mother, the second the game came out, I heard everyone crying about how Extinction wasn't zombies. And they were right. It's fucking not zombies. But people still try to compare the mode like it is. Like, no one ever thinks about Modern Warfare 3 survival mode and goes, man, that wasn't as good as Der Riese. No shit. But I, for one, loved Extinction. It was a super cool side mode with missions. I'm getting off track because that's not a zombies map, but Advanced Warfare Zombies suffers from Extinction Syndrome, where it followed up Origins to be a zombies mode even. And this shit was hard. Like, I'd put this up here with like 5 in Shangri-La in terms of difficulty. It was a few things shy of greatness. A lot of less EMP zombies. The infected rounds being a little more forgiving. I really, and maybe, you know, don't make me pack-a-punch my gun 25 fucking times. Black Ops 4. Sorry, I had something in my throat there. You know, if those few things were fixed, I really think someone could make a mod for Exo Zombies, and it would be ludicrously fun. But that's a video for another day. We got Shadows of Evil. And this shit right here is a masterpiece of fucking design. If I had to pick a map to just play, and play for, like, the map, it would probably be Shadows. It's got the atmosphere of Mob of the Dead. The layout skills of Origins, give or take. And, like, the Easter egg of... everything they did in Shadows is everything they learned what not to do with Mob. High rounding doesn't feel bad. The Wonder Weapon, although it has very limited ammo and that gets fixed with gums. Everything about Shadows just feels like super duper polished zombies gameplay. The Margwa is one of the most innovative boss zombies to date. It and the Panzer, and to a lesser extent Brutus. Brutus is just a heavy zombie, but the Panzer and the Margwa, there's a reason that they're still using those designs into the dirt. The Margwa felt incredibly threatening the first few times I ever played the map. The ability to just almost one-tap your ass because you decided to get too close was incredible. And good, because he's like 9 feet tall. Built like a brick shithouse. Of course he's gonna rock your shit. None of the setup to this map, too, felt contrived. It all felt like you were playing part of a story. Kind of like how Mob was, except there was payoff at the end. You know, you didn't have to fucking collect parts every time you wanted to go Pack-a-Punch. There was more than 5 perks on the map. There was, what, like 7, I think? 6? This map had flavor, it had theme, it had Easter egg. Shadows of Evil. Mwah. The Giant is a very very inoffensive bologna sandwich Der Riese. This was for the in case of transit syndrome, we have town. Just in case Shadows of Evil flopped, which it did on launch, but everyone really came back to it. The Giant was there to catch everyone when they were like, man, I don't want to do Shadows. Alright. Der Eisendrache. Hey, look, it's bastardized Origins. Stick that in Incredible. Not even Incredible. Top of Great tier. Here's why. Right? Origins. I herald as one of the most intricately designed maps for its continual gameplay. You get 4 staffs. You get the shield, you get the Maxistrone. You feel invincible. And yet, every single part of this map makes you feel weak. The mud slows you down. You can't run your trains like you want to. The zombies come and turn off your generators and make you leave your current location. And the Panzer is so threatening. His aura shits my pants to this day. Now, take all of the OP shit and tone down everything else, and you have Der Eisendrache. You have significantly more broken shit with the gravity spikes, the bows, the shield, the fucking the gobblegums, the everything like that, but without any of the challenge. What's gonna stop you on Der Eisendrache from going to high rounds? The bastardized Panzer that just shoots stun grenades at you? I don't think I've ever died to the Der Eisendrache Panzer. And you fight like 11 billion of Panzers in the boss fight for Der Eisendrache. When you're doing the Easter egg on Origins and you call in those Panzers, you feel like you're scrambling for your fucking life to survive. In Der Eisendrache, it's just like, oh goody, there's more bullet sponges after me. And I really think that post Black Ops 3 starts this downward spiral of the main boss zombie not being threatening enough to be included in the map. And we'll get there into Cold War and Vanguard and everything. Not Vanguard. Fuck Vanguard, but Cold War and Black Ops 6. When we get there, we'll get there. But Zetsubo, I believe, is another best tier map. I feel like the colors of the map, this is like if you took Moon and had it fuck Shinonuma, you get Zetsubo. Because it's got all of the intricacies and all of the cool features of Moon, with the atmosphere of Shinonuma. The Thrasher zombies are a little weak. They're a little meh. And needing a gas mask everywhere to not die of whooping cough is kind of inconvenient. If you don't like spiders, obviously this map gets thrown in the trash can for you. But there is something so cool about all of the little minute things in Zetsubo. It's not offensive, it's not hard. You can get all the perks if you feel like it. You want to go around making fruit. There's challenges to do. There's a really cool specialist weapon that we never get anything like that again. The Wonder Weapon is great. It's the Slick with Fire, but if it wasn't just easy button. I've always loved the Wonder Weapons that are difficult but rewarding to use. And I think like the baby gun from Shangri-La, or like the Acid Gat. The KT-4 has that blueprint of, it's not directly good. You know, you can't just spam it at your legs like the Mustang and Sally in a corner and expect to survive. But when used properly, you get some serious distance out of the fucking KT-4. Hot take again. Gorod. I'm putting Gorod in good. I know the internet has a really weird fetish for Gorod Krovi, but when I was talking earlier about how these challenging maps don't make you feel like you're wasting your entire time playing them, Gorod does. There is something about the initial setup to the map, the dragon control pieces, the if you go down early game in Gorod, this map feels like it outpaces you really badly. It's very unforgiving. And while in other maps, you're like crawling through the mud to get to high rounds. In the early games, kind of just whatever. Golrod flips that around in the worst way possible, and it's like crawling through barbed wire just to play the map. And I've never been a fan of it. Revelations, I'm just going to put in good as well. It's inoffensive. It's nostalgia bait boner. It's so piss awful easy. It's so difficult to die on Revelations. And honestly, your runs end more often because of crashing than because of skill. When you give the Thunder Gun, the Ragnaroks, the fucking Squid Butthole Gun, Apothicon Servant, why couldn't I think of the name? On top of every single perk, on top of all of the easiest training locations from all of the maps, the trading bench. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but Revelations is the exact middle of the road sandbox map. It's that custom World at War map you played where it's just one big box with everything just laid out on the walls and you just do whatever the hell you want. It's not hard, there's no challenges. I'm so glad that both the Panzer and the Elemental Margwas are on that map because it would be brain dead numb if there wasn't anything to challenge you. We have made it to the Chronicles Lightning Round. Chronicles Noct is bad because it has the exact same layout as original Noct, but with none of the atmosphere, and instead it has a weird Wonder Fizz to try to patch up the whole no perks because people are bitches. Chronicles Rukt goes into average. It made an improvement off of the Black Ops 1 because they learned that the fucking Winter's Howl was dog shit, so they gave it the Wonder Waff. Chronicles Shino is very inoffensive. It's whatever. It's just bastardized Shino Numa. This literally feels almost no different than regular Shino Numa. Chronicles Kino. I'm going to put just above regular Kino. I don't have any problems with Chronicles Kino, other than maybe the atmosphere. But here's the problems. Chronicles Ascension, average. You're going to tell me you're going to remake a map that introduced the first 2 new perks to the series, and then proceed to not bring one of them back because Gobblegum. Give me back Flopper. Second of all, there's a strategy on Ascension, Old Ascension, where if you grit your teeth and you play risky and don't buy Jug, leave the Jug door open, you get through enough rounds with the monkeys that you can get Jug and leave that door shut. The strategy pays off in spades because you get to keep Speed Cola, Mule Kick, and Jug. And then just buy PhD every round. Or Stamina Up, your preferred perk. But then they're going to make it so piss-awful easy in Chronicles Ascension that I could literally just play this map without Jug to begin with. I don't know. Ascension was always easy, and then they just said, let's make it even easier. Chronicles Shang and Chronicles Moon are both going into worst. They both took the cool, intricate, difficult parts of each of the maps and bastardized them. Chronicles Shang not having PhD is everyone's common gripe, and I will agree, it's annoying, but original Shang, you didn't use the Mustang and Sally because they were a crutch. You used the Mustang and Sally because it was every last scrap you could get off the table to keep going. It was... I knew people who would use the M72 Law out of the box just to keep keep killing on Shang. And then Chronicles goes and just takes the most bland ham sandwich without flopper. Like, all you need is the KRM with Thunderwall. The map doesn't... It loses its difficulty because of how easy Black Ops 3 is. And you'll notice with the core Black Ops 3 maps, they did a lot of things to make the maps difficult to account for the new, easier gameplay style. That just didn't transfer over into the Chronicles maps. Same thing with Moon. They cut so many features from the QED. And especially with the Super Easter Egg RK5, it just bastardized any bit of risk-reward coming from staying in no man's land. Chronicles Origins, I'll put it in great. Original Origins had such an aura to it that everything about it was new and unique. Suddenly we have Primus out of nowhere. Suddenly we have a new starting pistol out of nowhere. The Mauser after nothing but the 1911 for the entirety of Zombies thus far. Quad wonder weapons. You know, everyone can get a wonder weapon? That's dope as fuck. And all these new guns that went into the box that were never available prior. You had the SCAR, you had the KSG, you had all the variants of previous weapons with attachments. And all of that is lost in the transition to Chronicles. With the exception of, like, the wonder weapons, obviously. But, like, the uniqueness. For the first time since the start of Black Ops 1, they changed the wall weapons in the starting room. Gone was Olympia versus M14. We got the Ballista. There were so many shakeups in this map on Classic Origins that were just lost in Chronicles. And it's garbage, honestly. It hurts. Spaceland. Best tier. This pulled me away from Black Ops 3 to go play it. And then they fumbled all of the bag. Rave. I'm just going to start lightning rounding through these because we're going to get into some gross shit. Rave, there is no purpose in using the drug mode. There's no... You don't deal with the boss zombie because you don't use the mode. And you just have even more watered down Der Eisendrock, which is already just watered down Origins. The crossbows suck. The dude you're trying to help, I don't even remember what the fuck his name is. He's not funny. It's annoying. This map sucks. This shit, get it out of my face. No. I can't. No. Now, Attack of the Radioactive Thing, I will say, can come up into average solely on vibes, because it comes at you with the same, like, Fallout vibes as, like, Nuketown and Alpha Omega, which we'll get there in a bit. Vibes alone, Attack of the Radioactive Thing can go into average. I know the Easter egg is the worst, but just on vibes and it being a cool survival map without... And also Elvira. This map hurts my soul. This put the final nail in the coffin to my extinction. And they just bastardized it. Final Reich was really fun. Nice, refreshing shit after coming off of Beast from Beyond. They went with the gritty, old-school feel of Jimmy Zielinski's Zombies. Like the occult, the everything like that, and I applaud them for it. Groston House was kind of just knocked, but spooky knocked. I really wish I could see. I really wish that... it's fine. It's fine. Get it out of my fucking sight. and this honestly killed it. I never got around to playing Frozen Dawn. We're moving on to Black Ops 4. The Black Ops 4 lightning round. I'm going to try very hard to not focus on how horribly awful the base gameplay of all of Black Ops 4 is, and just focus on how good the maps are as maps. Because the core gameplay of everything in Black Ops 4 makes me want to toaster bath. But Voyage of Despair had such a cool concept. Zombies in the Titanic, sweet. Zombies in Rome. This map was just super cool. It was the keynote of Black Ops 4. I personally really love Classified, and it's the only map that I go back to Black Ops 4 to play. It took everything about Original 5, cranked it up to 11, but then stuck it on a shitty gameplay mechanic. We're gonna put blood in here into good. It was almost mob. It still suffers from the same problems as mob. Dead of the Night, I'm sticking an average because there are Dead of the Night haters and there are Dead of the Night enjoyers. And I'm going to stick it in the middle because to me it is a nothing burger of playing Clue instead of playing zombies. You're doing all of these complicated ass shit just to even get the Wonder Weapon. I'm not going through all that setup just to start playing. It's Gorod, but Clue. Ancient Evil, totally underrated map. Super cool. Alpha Omega can go right next to Attack of the Radioactive Thing. And this motherfucker killed my childhood, and it killed my favorite map. And I spit on its corpse. I don't care how innovative or cool it was. You take the worst cast to send the crew out on with the worst wonder weapons I've ever seen from a design standpoint. Lazy wonder weapon designs. It ended the storyline. It killed my childhood. It bastardized all of Call of the Dead. The only redeeming quality I can say about TAG is that they left an Easter egg to honor George Romero when he died. Other than that, that map, go to hell and die. D Machine. I always thought D Machine was a good map. It was the map I played whenever I would play this fucking game. I camel grinded on it. It's the Kino of Cold War. It's inoffensive. It's fine. Firebase Z is kind of like, okay, it's the exact same thing, but just colored orange. This shit was garbage, and it never should have happened. Mauer was okay. Bringing the Panzer back again was kind of a tipping point in the series where I was like, man, they're completely out of fucking ideas at this point, aren't they? I had a really cool wonder weapon, and I like the arcadey feel of it, but the Krasny sold that, man. Get the hell out of here. I did not like Forsaken. It was a bunch of multiplayer maps stapled together by teleporters, and you give the most OP wonder weapon bullshit. Anyone who ever thought it was a good idea to give a wonder weapon that was a melee weapon, that's just bad idea, because it's either going to be terrible or broken. Oh, hey, look. I'll at least put Shinonuma in bad, because at that point they dug up the corpse of Shinonuma and they were like, save me, please. And it was at least kind of playable. This shit can also live right here, and worst, it shouldn't have existed. Right here, next to Outbreak. This shit, I know everyone's gonna bitch and be like, "Oh, you just don't like it because you don't like round-based." Tell me what the fuck is going on in those maps to even begin with. Like, you load in, and it feels so hollow. It feels like you just loaded into a fucking single-player game of Minecraft. Like, yeah, there's zombies wandering around, whatever, and you can kill them, start challenges, but it's the most nothing, boring, blah. They never should have done this. Thankfully, Terminus was a very refreshing map after everything we've been through, after so many games between Black Ops 4, where I consider the last of the good maps to come from, to then now Black Ops 6. Terminus was such a refresher. It won't go any higher than Incredible, only because, dear God, I can't stand the characters. We complained because we didn't have character quotes, and then they gave us the most nothing burger annoying motherfuckers to play as. They make Victus sound good. Liberty Balls, I'll stick it up there with Terminus. It's the Kino of Black Ops 6. And Citadel, I'm gonna put in great, which means we're gonna bump. We'll bump town down, which means transit needs to come down, which means farm can go down. Sorry, I don't like having double layers in my tier list. It just feels gross. And then we have Citadel, right? It feels like it's trying to shag the corpse of Der Eisendrache, which is already shagging the corpse of Origins. And it just, I don't know, cool swords, I guess, whatever. And lastly, I have yet to play The Tomb. I wanted to make a video with my first time on The Tomb. So, there you have it, the definitive and correct tier list of Zombies maps.